Hello and welcome to yet another session on our weekly Toastmasters session, our weekly public speaking session. Today is a special day because today I'm going to cover pathways, the most mysterious subject of Toastmasters. Now, you have come to Toastmasters, attended meetings, and then you decide, okay, today is the day I will take the leap of faith and I join the club. And then as you start your vice president education, if it's a Toastmaster club, they will enroll you and will ask you to choose a path. And clicking, you get into Toastmasters.org and you somehow manage to find a path. You might be assigned a mentor who would have given you a path, but then you give a speech or two and then slowly you get lost. You get lost in the jungle of pathways. Now, Toastmasters Pathways is the Toastmasters educational curriculum. And what I'm going to cover today is we'll choose one path known as presentation mastery. That's one of the most popular paths. And we will cover end to end what does it take for you to level up all the levels of that particular pathway. So this is the start of the pathway series. Now I'm going to share my screen. If I go in here, now if you see in this screen, I have toastmasters.org and I'm in the pathways. If you see here, I'm sharing my screen. I hope you can see the screen. Now, if you see here, Toastmasters give you 6 paths. 6 starts with dynamic leadership. You start then the engaging humor. Dynamic leadership is all about building your leadership acumen. Engaging humor talks about how you can add humor to your presentation. In fact, if you want to get into an entertaining speaker track and engaging humor. Motivational strategies, so you want to be a coach or you want to motivate people on motivation. So that's motivational strategies if you want to become a motivational speaker. Moving on. Persuasive influence. If you are into sales, you want to persuade people to do anything, then this is the track for persuasive influence. Presentation mastery, that's you want to get good at presentation mastery, which we will be looking at it today. And visionary communication, how do you build your leadership to build your vision? Say you are into leadership in a company, how do you communicate so then everybody gets the message? That's known as visionary communication. So you plan the vision, you plan the mission, you make people go around a common goal. So that's the visionary communication. Now, these are the 6 current paths that are on track. Toastmaster gives you these 6 tracks, and if you get into the legacy paths, the legacy means which is now legacy. That means if you are following the path, don't worry, they will still remain, but there are no frequent updates coming up. So we have effective coaching. It's all about if you are into coaching business, you are coaching people, then that's effective coaching. Innovative planning, you want to plan. Innovative planning, leadership development. Again, these are old paths. If you are already in that track, doesn't matter. And strategic relationships and team collaboration. Now, if you see here, persuasive. These say this is if this is first version, team collaboration. Then visionary communication might be the version 2 of the same product. So quite a bit of overlap. Okay, what is presentation mastery? So like Toastmasters, every single pathway has 5 levels. I think last session I told about 4 levels, but when I did my research, it is 5 levels. So if you go back, if I click on presentation mastery, which is if I click in here, presentation mastery, if you see presentation mastery, 5 levels. Level 1, fundamentals. Level 2 talks about learning your style of presentation. Level 3 is how do you increase your presentation mastery knowledge, which has a few elective projects. Level 4 is building your skills, where one project is managing a difficult audience. I'll cover each of the project. And level 5 is demonstrate expertise, means you are at your peak of that particular level. Now, if you see, the difficulty of each level increases with each project. Let's focus on what a pathway is here. Now, if I go back and I will just open up, this is Mandura Toastmasters. They have created a very nice, and I'll include in the links. They have included in the presentation mastery, they have covered level 1, level 2, 3 and 4 and 5. So let's go one by one. Level 1, most of you have already given level 1. If not, the first goal for you is enter into level 1. Level 1, you start with a presentation with an icebreaker. So if I just expand it, you see icebreaker. It's a foundational project where your goal is to introduce yourself to the club. So that means just beginning. So you might use notes, but it's all about yourself, and you have to give. The speech is from 4 to 6 minutes. That's first project of level 1. Level 2, sorry, project 2 of level 1 is speaking with purpose. Now you have given a speech, you got some feedback, and then when we move on to writing a speech with purpose, you start writing a speech with a topic in mind. So which can be narrow enough topic or wide enough topic, you can decide, and you are still with notes. So you are still beginning learning how to present. That's 5 to 7 minutes. So we are building confidence step by step. We then move on to project 3, introduction to vocal variety and body language. So we have given a speech, and now you would get some feedback around vocal variety. Means you focus on how do you focus on the voice. That means you speak fast, you go very slow, and you add, so the voice adds color to your presentation. It's the or adds fragrance, if I use certain terminologies, adds fragrance to your presentation. That's how do your voice sound. Then we also it also focuses on body language. Are you moving enough, or how are your gestures looking like? So this is and again 5 to 7 minutes speech. So 3 projects, so level 1, and then finally level 4 is you in the project 3 you give that speech. Project 4 is you receive feedback and you apply the feedback that you have given in and give the same speech, or you can also give another speech. And once you have this, and if you see evaluation and feedback, level 4 is you now give feedback to somebody. Choose any topic of your feedback and evaluation. After your speech, carefully review the feedback from the evaluator and present the same speech. So this is level 1. Now in addition to this one, level 1, you also need to perform a few roles, which I will cover in here. So this is again education programs FAQ. So there's some changes in the Toastmasters, and if I go into pathway enhancements, one moment, let me see. Yeah. So this is what I wanted to show you. So along with those 4 projects, Toastmaster in the current path asks you to do these roles in public speaking. So that means if you are a member of the club, you would be doing this anytime, but to tick off level 1 of your pathway, you have to become a table topic speaker, once you have to do an evaluator and you have to become a timer or an hour counter. So along with those 4 speaking projects, these are the 3 roles you have to do to finish level 1. The reason Toastmaster has introduced these roles is they have seen in the past that some people are just speaking at the club. They just come at every meeting and then they are in a rush to finish the pathway project. But Toastmasters and in fact communication is a holistic skill. That means it's just not public speaking, it is also listening, impromptu. So they have added all these roles to the level 1 and this is applicable for all paths. Okay, so this is, and then we move on to, so we finished level 1. Now we are moving to level 2 of presentation mastery. Now level 2, and if I go back here, in here, so we mastered the level 1, the fundamentals. Now level 2 is all about learning your communication style. So there are various types of communication style. This is where the goal is we speak in a certain manner. Sometimes we speak in a persuasive manner. This shows you what is your strength, what is your communication style. So that means this also works on self-exploration around what kind of communication style, what are my strengths in my communication. So number 1 project is understanding your communication style. Number 2 is effective body language. So that means, yes, you had given a body language in level 1, if you see here, and this is level 2 is you start deliberately practicing body language. That means positioning yourself on the stage, planning the stage, planning the persona, and planning the character such that your speeches are more effective. And third is introduction to Toastmaster mentoring. So that means and Toastmaster is heavy on mentoring. Like here, I'm mentoring you in the path. The level 3, project number 3 of our pathway of level 2 learning your style, a presentation mastery, focuses on introduction to communication mentoring. So tomorrow I am expecting, like everybody expects, once you pay it forward, that means you go ahead and you start mentoring people in their paths. So this is all about how did a mentor come and influence you and what are the benefits of mentoring, to understand that. So now we go back to the project here. Level 2, understanding your communication style, is Toastmasters so they have a website known as Basecamp. Once you go there, you have to fill in a 5 to 7 you have to fill in a questionnaire, and then that gives you, okay, this is your present communication style, and based on that one you start building about and this is where you tell to the audience around, hey, this is my presentation style and how did you come up with that presentation style, and you can give specific examples from your presentation. So that is understanding your communication style. 5 to 7 minutes again. Effective body language. Effective body language, as I told you, it's have to learn, refine, understand what is impactful body language, what is not impactful, and we proceed over here. Then again 5 to 7 minutes. They tell you perform your speech in front of a mirror and make adjustments. Never do this. This doesn't work. What I recommend is practice your speech in front of the camera and then watch the recording. You cannot look at the mirror and present, because then you get distracted by your own expressions. Sometimes you start hating yourself. No, I don't like how I'm presenting. Then introduction to Toastmaster mentoring, I have already covered. 5 to 7 minutes when you are a protege, and share the impact and importance of having a mentor, and how did they help you, and you just have to report back telling, okay, I worked with a mentor, we worked with this one, I got some feedback, and this is where I am. The goal is to mention to the audiences mentoring is also a key aspect of Toastmasters. of public speaking. We all had mentors in our lives. So it's about acknowledging, understanding how can I become a good protege, and also inspiring people. If you have not found a mentor, find one. And if you are experienced enough, you become a mentor. So level 1 and level 2 finished. Now, and what educational we have to do? Level 2, you have to do these 4 roles: grammarian, table topics master, evaluator, and toastmaster of the day, a timer or accounter. 4 roles again, which we do in every meeting. Now, level 1, level 2 achieved, each level you start getting a badge. If you're not getting a badge, harass your VP telling, I finished my level, where is my badge? They should give you a badge. If not, get your club to buy you badges, and that's an achievement. You are an L1, L2, presentation mastery, PM L1, PM L2. This is a matter of pride. You have given so much hard work. Plus, this gives you little bit of motivation. Now, level 3. Level 3 is, going back to this slide, not this one. Level 3 is you start increasing your knowledge of presentation mastery. So that means level 1, you mastered the fundamentals. Level 2, you learned the style. Now start building on these 2 levels. Now if you see here, this is increasing knowledge. When you increase the knowledge, that means this first project is persuasive speaking. So that is 1, and then you have to do 2 electives. Now there are so many electives which I will cover in this one. So what does persuasive speaking is a mandatory module, and then you have to choose 2 out of all these I think 10-12 electives. Now this is the fun part. I'll just show you. The electives are one of my favorites. Level 3, persuasive speaking. And if I expand persuasive speaking, is you start working on the elements of persuasion. So it's a 5 to 7 minutes, and again I am requesting you not jump the gun and cherry pick everything. Please follow the path which Toastmaster has designed for you. Do not cherry pick and move ahead of the curve to fill in, and also do not rush. We are not in a rush. We are planning to give a speech, learning from that experience, and we are growing. The other day at my Talking Point Club, I had a Toastmaster from India presenting a speech. He went into crazy levels. He was attending 5 meetings per day. And he told, I have a record of finishing a pathway in 2 days. I would highly discourage doing that. Toastmaster is not a race. It is not a race. It is about you growing, exploring yourself. You do not explore yourself suddenly and find yourself as a different person. It's a transformation process, and understand it's a slow process. You can take it fast, but if you have not learned from your project, the win is not a win if it doesn't transform you. Believe me, it will transform you. Level 3, persuasive speaking. You understand the elements of persuasion. So then, if you see, choose any topic that lends itself to speaking persuasively, and you can actually give this speech outside your club. You just have to record it and find an evaluator to evaluate you. Again, 5 to 7 minutes. You have to persuade people to a point of view. So this is where you can go into learning from Aristotle, ethos, pathos, logos. How do you persuade? In your speech, you have to persuade people to your point of view. Okay, so that is project number 1 of level 3. Then there are 2 electives. There are so many electives I will cover, and the funny thing is these electives are common for all paths. So that means if you understand electives of one path, the same electives are there in the other path, which I dislike, but it is what it is. So elective 1, active listening. That means you become a table topics master, and you comment after each speaker finishes a speech. Then you use your active listening skills. You put in segues, and this is just serving a table topics master. So that's elective. You can easily do it. Anybody can do it. Second is connect with storytelling. You understand what is the basics of storytelling. So choose an established story about your life or a fiction, and then even a tortoise or hare, a fairy tale, but it's all about your presentation style. Connect the audience with the storytelling, with a message. 5 to 7 minutes, easy peasy. The third one is connect with your audience. Connect with your audience is the purpose is to practice the skill needed to connect with an unfamiliar audience. So that means you so this is a very good chance you can go to another club and present any speech. So that's an unfamiliar audience. It that topic can be new or topic can be unfamiliar to you, and this is how you present it. Again, 5 to 7 minutes. Creative visual aids. Creative visual aids is you prepare a PowerPoint presentation or you use certain props in your presentation. If you use props like this, how do you communicate? And if you see, create at least one but no more than 3 visual aids to enhance your presentation. So you can use props like I have got this trophy for best dad joke, that's a prop. You can use this tripod, another prop. If in your presentation, it's all about focusing on visual aids. Then deliver social speeches. Deliver social speeches focuses on you want to toast people for a social speech that appeal to the audience, like, and you have to present them at two separate club meetings. You have to develop 2 projects out of it, and each project is 3 to 4. Like I gave a social speech around roasting. I had one of my of our at Chadstone Oaks Toastmasters, we had Faiza, one our president, and she was also a good friend of mine. So I did a roast, and there's another one I did a toast of a celebration. So roast means you roast them, and you will understand what is roasting and toasting. But gave 2 separate speeches about 2 separate genres. So again, 2 3 minute, 3 to 4 minute speeches. Focus on the positive. Next elective, again you have to just choose 2 electives. Easy, you can easily go through. The purpose is to practice being aware of your thoughts and feelings as the impact of response. What does this mean? This is kind of journaling. Record your daily moods and attitudes for minimum 2 weeks of presentation. Why do you want to give it this one? And then give a 2 to 3 minute report or a 5 to 7 minute speech. So journaling and then do it. I don't know why you should have this one, but yeah. Inspire audience. We are leveling up a notch and focusing on inspiration. Again, remember, there are various genres of public speaking: speaking to persuade, speaking to influence, speaking to inform, and fourth one is speaking to inspire. So this is how you inspire people, like part of motivation. Select topic with the intent of inspiring your audience at 5 to 7 minutes. Then you see, this is what in Hindi we call it as khichdi. You have everything. Khichdi is like we have rice, we have lentils, we have veggies. Mix everything together and create a porridge kind of thing. So I call this as khichdi because presentation mastery. These should be individual paths, and that's the reason. One of the reasons why I dislike pathways is they became lazy in designing the paths. So know your sense of humor. You start putting in a collection of humorous stories, jokes, and all, and start giving a 5 to 7 minute speech on that one. Making connections through networking. Focus and practice a personal strategy of building connections. So that means if you attend a networking event, so so in your presentation you have to mention that you went to a networking event, and how did you communicate? What stories were there? Did you gain a few contacts? Did you get some friends in? And if you attended and then you can put that in, but you have to present a 5 to 7 minute speech at the club. And this can be at the club as well. If you are going to another club, go and network in another Toastmaster club, and then attend the networking event and then give a 5 to 7 minute speech. Then prepare for an interview. This is quite interesting. In our old manuals, This was a very good one. So again, interview means you do a role play. You have an interviewer, you are an interviewee, and prepare for interview is you determine which member of the club. So you get somebody, give them a list of questions, and you become an interviewee, and let the interviewer interview you, and you practice answering to questions in the interview. It's a fun one. Understanding vocal variety, very similar to the earlier project. We then focus on pace, pitch, tone of our presentation. How are we sounding? It's very similar overlap to the level 2 working on your voice, but this focuses on this one. Then use descriptive language. It focuses on the language that we use. Then how elaborate? Are we using enough adjectives? Are we using enough rhetorical devices, metaphors, and all? This is this one. And then final elective, give a presentation software using a PowerPoint or Keynote, whatever works for you. You have to use a presentation software and present a 5 to 7 minute speech. Easy. All the electives in my consideration are super easy. There should not be a problem to any of you here. You see, these are the electives 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Out of 13, you have only 2 to choose. Once you get to level 3, and then you have to perform these things on the level 3. Toastmaster of the day, evaluator, table topic speaker, one of the following successful club presentations. Now, Toastmasters have this successful club presentation. So that means we have a set of presentations here. So what this gives you, I wish I could show you. I'll cover it in a later session probably. Creating the best club climate, meeting roles and responsibilities. Like we have a few projects in the successful club series. You just have to give one presentation there. Again, so that means how many speeches you have given? Hypothetically, you have given level 3, 1, and if it is 2, 2, 3, and 4. 4 speeches again in level 3. You got the level 3 batch, we then chug along. How much time? Okay, let me go fast now. Level 4 is interesting. Level 4 of presentation mastery is we start building the skills. That means managing a difficult audience. And this is a fun one because this is also one of my favorite. Level 4, managing a difficult audience. So in this project, what happens is you tell 5 or 6 people, tell them that I'm giving, and we are bumping up. You are presenting a 5 to 7 minute speech, and in that speech you are asking people, 5 or 6 presenters, 5 or 6 members or 3 to 4 members to disturb me while I present. So, and your goal is, and it's the disturbance is of their choice. So for example, the phone rings, or somebody gets a call, or somebody just laughs out loud, somebody is not bored and just makes a fiddling noise, or even you have a heckler. In a presentation world, people will heckle, and people might not be that polite. But how do you manage that difficult audience? The people will ask strange questions. So this fun project is all about a role play assignment. You ask 3, 4 people, 3, 4 members to disturb you during a presentation, and your goal is not to get disturbed and proceed with the presentation. How do you manage it? This is a good one. Then again, it has electives. It has how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 electives. You have to do 2 projects. Elective 1, building a social media presence. If you are into Insta, Facebook, you have to then go through if you have a blog, you have to do some project, and then you have to present a 5 to 7 minute speech. Create a podcast. You can record, create a podcast, you can launch. If you are always wondering like me to create a podcast. This is a brilliant way of using this platform to create a podcast. And then you have to give a presentation, record that 60 minutes and give a 2 to 3 introduction speech. That's pretty straightforward. It will actually help you build your podcast. Manage online meetings. Like after COVID era, everybody is online these days. We start again. You have to do a 20 to 25 minute online meeting with fellow Toastmasters, or if it's a 20 to 25 minutes webinar for fellow Toastmasters, like how I'm doing, you can easily do the same thing and tick that one off. Manage project successfully. So we are entering into the leadership realm. So manage project successfully. So suppose there is a project, you take up a project in your club. So for example, you want to plan a meeting for your club annual general meeting, or might be Christmas lunch or Christmas dinner meeting and all. So, and you have to plan the agenda so it's fun and all. So you can create a project plan, and then this presentation is after you have finished that project. You write a reflection. This is what I started. This is my project plan. I did this resource. I did this research. We do all projects. Even at your home, you do a project. Even building a shed, you build a project. Mowing the lawn, it's a project. So any kind of project that you take, it's all about your reflection, who were in your team, and then how did you achieve your purpose. Public relation strategies. If you are a VP PR of your club, then or if you work with them and present public relation strategies, how do you practice posting in Facebook or Instagram, or how do you practice public relation strategies? So it's again a 5 to 7 minutes Q&A session. If you have a presentation, then there is a Q&A at the end. So then it's a 5 to 7 minutes, and you can tell 10-15 minutes to ask questions. You can present any speech and then have a Q&A at the end for people to ask you questions. And the last one is writing a compelling blog. Go into WordPress, Substack, anywhere. If you create a blog like how you had the podcast, and you have to give a 2 to 3 minute speech on your blog. Level 4 done. Level 4, as you saw, there are a few projects that might need different things, but it's actually easy if you are in a group. If not, then have a chat with me. I can prep you up with some ideas if you are stuck at any level. Level 5, prepare to speak professionally. Now, this is, if you go back to this one, level 5. So we finished level building skills, and then finally we are entering into expertise mode. You see, level 5. See, prepare to speak professionally and reflect on your path, and choose one of the following of these ones. So 3 speeches again. So what does this have? One is prepare to speak professionally. Every person's goal, I would say, not every, one of the goals, as you start speaking, one of the goals you'd be wondering, what does it take to speak professionally? Can you get paid to speak professionally? And if not, why not? And this is a 18 to 22 minute keynote style speech you have to present at the club. It's wonderful. And you think, how can I speak for 18 to 22 minutes? With your skills, if you reach level 5, you can speak even a couple of hours without any hesitation, without any notes. And this is the presentation style. And this focuses on building that presentation, and end of the day, how do you build your keynote? One short thing, if you think 22 minutes is too long, just think about 3 7-minute presentations packed into one. That's the secret. Okay, prepare to speak professionally, reflect on the path. So you then in your meeting you give a 10 to 12 minutes. Now if you see you have already skilled, you are giving 10 from 5 to 7 minutes. You have been promoted to give 10-minute speeches. Reflect on your path. You started from this presentation that you heard, and then you move to your path and reflect how what is your Toastmaster journey. What was your journey looking like when you started and where you are now, and what is in the future? So again, a reflection on your path. And one of these leadership projects, one is ethical leadership. We give you an ethical framework, and then organizing, and you have to create a panel discussion, and you have to moderate a panel discussion to focus on the leadership. So that is one. High performance leadership, you can do any project. I remember I did my high performance leadership around competitions. So you can do this one. So that means you have to again plan, you build a vision, you build a mission, you go through 360-degree evaluation. It involves quite a lot. If you ask me, very few people do high performance leadership, but in my era, like before 2016, 2015, this was mandatory, high performance leadership. That changes how you look at projects because you get feedback. So this is one you can do. Then leading in your volunteer organization, if you have led a leadership role in the club and all, then you can, or it can be leadership role in any volunteer organization. Again, volunteer, not paid. So leadership is quite different in a volunteer organization versus a paid organization. Paid, you get a salary, so you lead. Volunteer organization, because we are all volunteers, it's a separate set of challenges leading people who are all volunteers, who are not paid for. The commitment levels are quite different for unpaid people like volunteers. Then elective lessons learned, which we have already covered. Then moderator discussion, a panel discussion. That's it. You just have to do one of these and you finish the path, my friend, presentation mastery. So you achieve L5, level 5 of presentation mastery. But what is funny thing is, if you do the same thing and another path, you become L5, say engaging humor. Again, if I open engaging humor, it will have its own paths, and you see the same electives. The things which I am showing you, they are very similar. So if you finish 2 levels, you become you achieve the highest milestone in Toastmasters, that is known as it's like rarefied air. So Talking Point has Bruce as a DTM, and who else? I am one of the DTM. DTM is a distinguished Toastmaster. That means you have worked so hard, you prepared these speeches, so you have got a distinguished Toastmaster. In Berwick Toastmasters, we have Rocky as a DTM, Steven as a DTM, Kaylin DTM, and I am also one of the DTMs again because of the 2 clubs. You achieve a DTM and you get into the rarefied air. You then, every speech you give, it's all about for the people. So yeah, that's it. I covered presentation mastery today. Any questions? It was long, but it was more technical. So any questions? Do let me know. If you want to discuss about your path, do let me know. We can jump on a call and focus on it. So Control 1. So that is it, my friends. I will see you. The next session will cover engaging humor. That's one of my favorite. But yeah, that's presentation mastery for you. All the best. And as I said, the minimum goal for you is, if you don't have a Toastmaster goal, is just focus on your path and start hammering your speeches. There's no way for you not to do it. You're already in it. It's better to finish it. So then you start gaining the experience, expertise from Toastmasters. I'll see you next session. Thank you for your time. Bye for now.